Welcome back to Season 8 of the Whole Horse Podcast. I'm your host, Alexa Linton, coming to you from Vancouver Island, Canada. Thank you all for your support and listening over the last 7 years and for your willingness to think outside the box about all things horses. This season, we'll continue to push the edges of our understanding of horses and what keeps them their healthiest and happiest with the help of some very special guests, including some of my most important personal mentors. So happy to have you back and along for the ride. Let's get started. Hello and good morning, and welcome back to the podcast. I don't normally do these kind of podcasts where I'm on my own, but it felt like good timing for such a thing, and good timing for a check-in. I'm sitting out again with the horses and under the trees here in the beautiful Cowichan Valley. And I am feeling a lot of feels lately in terms of being on this new property for 4.5 months and landing, like really landing here. And I had this reflection yesterday because we've had a lot going on, which I'll share about as we go on here today with the horses, just like little blips and health stuff and trickiness, and it's been a challenge. And I found myself feeling really frustrated yesterday, like, oh my gosh, like, what is wrong? Why are you all kind of falling apart? Not all of them, but it felt like that. And maybe some of you can resonate that sense that sometimes all the stuff comes up and it's like, you're feeling like you're just constantly in nurse mode with your herd. And that's how I've been feeling a bit lately. And my friend Jackie, who I hope to have on the podcast very soon, said to me so wisely, well, you're all now at home, and 4.5 months in, you've fully landed here, and that allows a spaciousness for the things to move and the stuff to come up and the healing to happen. And that really helped me to think, oh my gosh, switch out of, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me, that all my horses are, a little bit off and not well, to, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because you may resonate with this as well, that when you move onto a new piece of land, particularly when it's been this kind of a dream, this kind of a huge dream come true, there's a surrealness that comes with that. There's a sense of, is this real? Is this happening? Every morning waking up and going, wow, I'm still here. Okay. And then at a certain point, it finally lands, and you go, yeah, okay, I am here. And what does that mean now? And so that's been the process for the last chunk of months. And then in the last month or so, this sense of, okay, yeah, we are here, we're grounding, we're landing fully in this space. This is our forever spot. With this herd of 4 now that's so solid and stable and good together, and balanced. And so, yeah, things arise, things start to move, especially in my world where healing is kind of, central in all the things, with my osteopathy practice and my energy medicine and my animal communication. It's my edge of learning is in that space. And when that's true for someone, oftentimes, yes, you are navigating some big pieces health-wise with your horses, with yourself, just as a part of that learning, which is really challenging, Yeah, saying that brings tears to my eyes. To be in that position, because everything is, I sometimes wish that it was just like, oh, just press pause. Like, everything just stay the same. Like, right now it's just all just chill and good and everything's grand. But that's not how our world works. For many of us, we're on an evolving path. There's lots going on. There's lots going on culturally, societally, throughout the world. There's a lot of scary stuff happening. And we have to factor all of that in to what's impacting ourselves, our herds, because we're not insular. We're not in a bubble as much as we might wish that we could be. We are connected to all of it. And so I've been seeing these pieces crop up and these question marks coming through to me about various things. So recently, and I will be doing a podcast on this because it feels really important to talk about. So Diva, my mare of 23 years, almost 23 years in September, has had vaccine reactions pretty much since I've gotten her. The first one I remember was when she was 6. She got a contusion in her neck in the injection site that stayed there for 4 to 6 months. I can't remember exactly, but a long time. And since then, she's had varying reactions to varying vaccines. So she's had founder-like reactions, she's had hanging edemas, she's had all sorts of things that have occurred. So I'm very aware that this is a thing for her. And I generally don't vaccinate her at all, except for tetanus. And when we moved onto this property, I started to find a lot of metal, a lot of rusty metal from old burn piles, and it was concerning to me because tetanus is one of those things that is, vaccination doesn't necessarily work after the fact from the research that I've done. And so, and it is often fatal for horses. So this is the one vaccine I'm like, okay. But it's been about 5 years since her last tetanus, and I wanted to, make sure that was done, especially when she was feeling really good, because Diva is now 26, and this will be her last ever vaccine because of these super strong reactions. So I decided to, have her tetanus done, even though, a big struggle for me knowing that it was really, really hard on her. And so that was about a month ago, and she was doing quite well for a couple of days. And then she has with tetanus, like a literal tetanus reaction. So she goes stiff, really stiff and sort of sore, and everything stiffens up. And so that happened for a couple of days, and I used homeopathics. So for those of you that are wondering about good homeopathics for vaccines reactions, I use Thuya, and there's also a great one through Riva's Remedies. I can't remember what it's called, Vax Aid or something like that. Anyway, so I used that. I also used spirulina and some green clay, and just really tried to help her system to clear and cleanse anything that was going to be adverse for her. And then I made the mistake of starting to add another type of hay into their, when she seemed okay, into their bags a couple days later. And all of a sudden, 2 or 3 days after that, she started to get fecal water. And we've been dealing with that since. And for those of you who have dealt with fecal water syndrome, it is very frustrating because it's like, oh my gosh, what is doing this? So I've, subsequently taken her off the hay and done all sorts of things. But I have a session with my dear mentor, Dave Collins, tonight with Diva, which I will keep you posted on the results, because it feels deeper for Diva. Like there's something bigger at play with all of this. And the fact that it's happened for so long, so regularly. Everybody else in the herd was okay. So I am unpacking this right now. And one of the things that I've learned over the years is if you can't find an answer somewhere, keep looking, number one, because it might be super kind of outside of the way that you're thinking or outside of the way that you have done things in the past. So I encourage you to think outside the box and really open your mind to what could be a possibility of, something affecting or needing support or needing shifting. Because when we're looking at health, we're looking at all the levels. So in my apprenticeship, I always talk about, we go through 4 modules. We go physical, energetic, emotional, spiritual. There's a mental as well. All these aspects need to be addressed. And in some horses, some of them are very, very important. So in Diva and in Raven, that spiritual aspect is highly important. And sometimes I can't even figure out what they're needing in that space. It's like my mind isn't quite open enough. So the other thing I encourage is to find good help that can support you in these spaces, these weird and wonderful spaces, to help to shift some of these aspects. So that's one thing that's going on. And I'm just learning here. The other thing that's going on is with Miss Gwynna, my pony. Gwynna came to me about a year ago now, and she had gone to auction as a yearling, and her relatives, her ancestors, were part of the wild pony races. They were born and bred for that. And Gwynna just happened to be born in 2019, which meant she was a yearling in 2020 spring, and COVID shut down all the stampedes and rodeos. And so, as luck would have it, Gwynna was sent to auction as a yearling, and she never was a part of the wild pony races. I imagine she would have probably been bred. I imagine her mother's had a lot of foals that have gone into that space. And it's been really quite interesting / heartbreaking to unpack what these ponies are carrying. And a lot of people, it's like, I'll talk about the wild pony races and people are like, oh yeah, like it's so fun to watch the kids. And so let me explain. I actually watched a video of it yesterday, which is why I'm a little emotional. And I watched it at the Calgary Stampede because I felt like, okay, I need to know what this is and what her relatives have sort of been working with. And so these wild ponies that are untamed are haltered, and 3 kids, usually under, they look like maybe they're 7 to 10, come out and essentially wrangle this pony. And once they've got it still, one gets on or tries to get on and ride it to a certain point, essentially. And the amount of pulling back and rearing and just frantic. This horse is, I'm sorry to even share this with y'all, because I'm sure if you're anything like me, you'll understand that this is quite frankly just entirely traumatizing for these horses. And it's seen as this, preparatory event for rodeo. And it's just really heartbreaking that that's happening and encouraged and sponsored and all the things. And so, so that's what Gwynna has been carrying. And I had a girlfriend that had one of the geldings out of there come to her, and it might have been the same batch, I don't know. And he wouldn't even let humans near him. He eventually passed a founder because he couldn't be caught. So they're very traumatized often. And I imagine that her mother is still in all of that work. now. I don't even want to call it work. It's not that. And my friend Jackie did a sound healing session with her yesterday. This is the second that she's done with tuning forks. And just, getting these images, recognizing that, these horses are roped and probably cattle prodded, so electrocuted essentially, and put through the ringer is really hard to be with. And so we worked with Gwynna's mother as much as possible, because I've been wanting to start doing carting with Gwynna, but I've just felt she's not there, she's not ready. She's not feeling joy, ease, and movement yet. She's getting there. She's just lying down in front of me here. It's really cute. In the forest, on the beautiful soft ground. Yay. Having a big stretch. Oh. So, I have pressed pause. I've pressed pause because it feels like she's just not quite there. So we've been working on our long lining and other things, but I want her to feel really, really balanced and regulated and at ease and enjoying movement before we start. And so, Jackie did a session yesterday, and it was interesting to have Patrick out here today. He was just like, oh, she feels really different. Like her boundary feels different. And I'm like, haha. Yeah, it does, because we've been working on that. And during Jackie's session, she worked for probably 45 minutes on Gwynna, and Gwynna stood stock still, totally available to the work, and ready for it. And this is work called biofield tuning, which I'm excited to share more about soon. I'm really big on frequencies. I think that sound is incredibly healing and helpful. And so, we did that yesterday, working on the mother side and just being with the grief of knowing that her mother is still probably in that situation, having to go through some of that stuff, really hard stuff. And so I'm just kind of being with that of like, what do we do with that information? How do we support our horses when we know that potentially their relatives or, their community is still really struggling and suffering? And, I'm sure that's an age-old question, isn't it? So I'm just sitting with that question mark right now about Gwynna and things. But it was really neat this morning to watch. Patrick captured a video of her and Rakier playing bitey face and her rearing up in the cutest way. So maybe I'll post that with this podcast, a little picture of that. So I see these amazing glimpses of lightness and ease and flow in her, which is just worth all of it. And I'm so excited about our future together, and just acknowledging that she's just 6. So we've got lots of time, knock on wood, hopefully, together to play and explore and learn and do all those things. So it's very exciting. So that is my story with Gwynna, and this sense of how landing in this place, landing in a sense of stability and safety and ease and relaxation allows these things to come to the surface, that we're always there, that we're always happening, but we're buried because it wasn't the time or the place. And so I'm working on my gratitude around that, even though it feels like everybody's falling a little bit apart. I'm like, okay, it's good though, because this allows more health to arise, more goodness to arise, more peace to arise, and I am here for it. So that's what's happening on Raven Moon Farm right at the minute. And it's it's so nice. It's so nice. And we're just, soaking in the summer and enjoying every minute. And I still don't want to leave ever. So right now I have to go to town, and maybe that's why I'm recording this podcast, because I'm procrastinating about that. But I'm going to go to town and do my errands, and then I'll be back here with my kiddos and my horses. Well, who am I kidding? My kiddos are my horses. And stay tuned. More good stuff to come for season 8. And also wanted to share that I really felt that the Whole Horse Apprenticeship needed to continue in a different form. And so in September, I am launching I don't know if it's going to be called this yet, but the Whole Horse Apprenticeship membership community. It might be called something different, so that's a mouthful. But in essence, it will be all the archives from 9 years of the Whole Horse Apprenticeship. So that's a lot of webinars, posts, resources, good stuff. It'll also include all of my online courses, so my track system course, kinetic communication, redefining equine, and anything else that I create, which will definitely be happening. And also like time with me, time with the community. So monthly, bi-monthly stuff going on. So I will share more when I know more. Still in creation mode around it, but very excited to be able to offer this as a year-round process for people that want a really stellar community to just learn in a non-judgmental space and be with awesome horse people who know a lot of stuff and ask all the questions, any questions. I have beginners, like total beginners, people that don't even have horses but are interested in them in the program, up to people that have had horses their whole life. And it's just amazing to just share knowledge and feel good about doing that and be there for the horse. And and then I'll also be offering retreats through that as well that are just for Whole Horse Apprenticeship membership community members here at Raven Moon Farm. So anyways, I will keep you well in the loop about all of that. The podcast humans will be the first to know, so keep on listening. Got some amazing episodes still to come here for the rest of this season, and we will chat with you all very, very soon. Bye for now.